when I'm talking about Islamization agenda, you think you know better than me. You think most of us have been shouting and talking and trying to sensitize Nigerians about the Islamization agenda of these Fulani jihadists. You think you know better. And some of you in the West, from the Yoruba land, are so foolish that you think the people from the North, the jihadists, because they call Allah Akbar, you think you are the same. No. So I'm tired of the folly of Nigerians. Our foolishness knows no bound. Your foolishness knows no bound. That's when we should rise up and speak with one, as one, with one voice. You think it's between Christian Muslim, and you play politics, and you play ethnic cards with it. You all are foolish. I'm telling you. You think you know better. Between today is Thursday, between Monday and today, over 300 people have been annihilated, have been unalived in Nigeria, and nobody has done anything reasonable about it. You think you know better. When I tell you of Islamization agenda, you think you know better than me, isn't it? You all are foolish. Fulanis went to Woro village in Kwara State, which most of the people actually are Muslims. But because they have been preaching, they were preaching to them to accept Sharia as a governing law against the Nigerian constitution. Sharia as a governing law against the Nigerian constitution. And the people rejected. And the people said no, they would rather stick to the Nigerian constitution and be governed by the Nigerian constitution instead of Sharia. And even though most of these people are even Muslims, they executed. They did not just unalive them. They tied their hands behind their back in Woro village. Tied their hands behind their backs. What you do to criminals? They tied their hands behind their backs and executed them. Over 200 of them. Now, of course, the media say 170. If media tell you 170, I've always told you, divide that number by 2, they add on top of it. So there are over 200 and something people that were executed because they refused Sharia law. And I told you the other time in my video when I was explaining the pattern of Islamization. When I was explaining the sequence, the stages of Islamization. Number 1 is that they're moving. They're either moving by migration or they're moving by invasion. Number 2, they occupy government positions. And when they begin to occupy government positions, they begin to vow for, different stuff like that. Number 3, they begin to multiply. And when they multiply to a certain number, then number 4, they implement Sharia. And the moment you accept Sharia, then jihad will happen. And Nigeria, presently, 12 states are practicing Sharia. 12 states. And if you think those people carrying these atrocities are carrying those guns at the minute, you are wasting your time, because the people that are backing them up are the 2 people that are up high there. They are religious leaders, the oligarchs in the north, the politicians, most of them in the military that are backing them up. They will not come up, but they are supporting it. They want to turn Nigeria to a Turkey. They want to turn Nigeria to a Lebanon. They want to turn Nigeria to a Jordan. They want to turn Nigeria to an Egypt. And we keep shouting this thing every day. Wow, over 200 people executed like that, and we are going about our businesses as normal people with no consequence whatsoever. You think you know better than me, isn't it? I keep talking of Islamization agenda, but you think I'm foolish. Not knowing that you are the one that is foolish. For the Yoruba people, I warn you again, be careful. See, I've told you before, in that video I told you, I said the Igbo land will be the most difficult. But what they're going to use in the Igbo land is money, because they understand, see, the devil will always tempt you with what you like most. They know the Igbo people like money. And you'll find that their allergies will begin to woo their people, they'll begin to marry their daughters with money, they'll begin to settle their sons with money, and because of that, Islam will enter. But it will take a long time. So what they do is, they start conquering from the north, and then when they spread to the west, because it will be easy to spread into the west than to the southeast. And then from the west now, they'll conquer. Now you see, their activity in Kwara is very, very, it's very evident now. Their activity in Kwara is evident. Their activities in Kwara is effective. Guess where they are going next? No. You think it's Igbo land or it's South? No, they are entering your state. And they're already in the forest of Oyo. Presently, as I'm telling you, information reaching me, they're already in the forest of Oyo. They'll spread to Ogun. And from there, you think you're in Lagos state and you cannot be touched. No. You think you're in Lagos state, you cannot be touched. I tell you, it's a matter of time. It's a matter of time. You see the speed at which they are moving. It is just a matter of time. It is just a matter of time. I want to tell you, look for how to defend yourself. These people are relentless. These jihadists are relentless. I call on President Tinubu, better do. You see, the re-election thing is just on your mind. The politicians they don't have your time. They don't care about you. Let 500 be killed today. They don't care. They'll go about their campaign. To them, it's about party. To them, it's about party. And we have idiots, useless men in this government that would rather come and, instead of sympathize with the people or profess solution or aggressively attack these people, they would rather come out and banter Peter Obi or banter one party or the other. I'm telling you, if you don't stand and defend yourself and genuinely and vehemently resist Sharia in the West, your situation will be what is happening in the North. You think you know better, isn't it? When we keep shouting, you are playing tribal cards. You think it's because we are against Tinubu, we keep talking. And every time we bring up facts, you turn it to tribal cards. You think it's about tribalism. You think it's about, because we are speaking against Tinubu, you are very foolish. You will still come under the street and attack me, but no problem. I want to call on the Nigerian military. As much as I know many of you are compromised, I want to call in the Nigerian government. Do not allow the Fulanis, a minority tribe that is causing mayhem, a minority tribe, an infinitesimal amount of people that can be silenced once. We can't allow them to get dominant, to get ground. I told you of Islamization agenda, you think I'm playing. No problem. If Sharia is not abolished intentionally in Nigeria, I am telling you, 20 years from today, we are not ending this problem. If Sharia is not abolished in Nigeria, 20 years from today, this challenge is not ending. We have become a people that is totally a people of no relevance. We have become a mockery to the international communities. Look, I'm talking now. They took the lights. For 60-something years, power supplies cannot be constant in Nigeria, causing chaos, causing anarchy in Nigeria. The Islamists, these Fulanis. I've talked about that you should hold Sultan accountable for a lot of this. You did not hear me. I've spoken that you should hold Gumi accountable for most of this. You did not hear me. No problem. We're here. I want to all I'll keep saying is that the church must rise up to begin to defend itself. Because if they can do that to a community that are even with Muslims, simply because they rejected Sharia, how do you think it will be for Christian communities? If we don't rise up and begin to initiate the Crusader program gradually at this time, to begin to raise people, security networks for the church that will defend Christians in the Christian communities. If you think this is ending anytime soon, you are wasting your time. Oh, this what we are going to is not ending anytime soon. It's not ending anytime soon until you meet their nonsense, their stupidity with a higher level of violence. Until you meet their violence with a higher level of violence before they run away. They will never stop as much as we keep negotiating. We see about how many over 100 people that were kidnapped from the church. They are still there. Entering into the church with such audacity and kidnap people that are still there. If you think this is ending anytime soon, you are wasting your time. If we don't rise and begin to meet their nonsense, their foolishness with a higher level of violence, 20 years from today, 30 years from today, we are not ending this. And I've told you, Nigeria will never be Islamized. We will rather divide. After all, I've said it over and over. This marriage, this entity called Nigeria is a scam. We have been deceiving ourselves for too long. Nobody wants to say, even though many of us know, nobody wants to say it is a scam. If we don't rise up, these guys are not relenting. They will continue to labor to ensure that they bring Nigeria to a Turkey or to a Lebanon state, and we will not permit that. We will rather divide. The church must rise up at this time. All those nonsensical compromises are trying to be diplomatic. These people are not diplomatic with you. You are the one that want to be diplomatic. Oh yeah, now. No problem. We will keep speaking. What we will not do again is to be silent.
Over 170 Nigerians were unalived yesterday in Kwara State. No, you didn't hear me. Over 170 Nigerians were tied up like goats and they were unalive. They were murdered like Christmas chicken yesterday in Kwara State in Nigeria. This terrorist operated for like 18 hours unopposed. No security operatives in sight to engage them. Not one. I even heard that they, at some point in that operation, they went to pray, came back and continued. And yet, people woke up this morning in this country and they are going about their businesses, about their work. There is no outrage, there is no protest, there is no uproar. Nobody is saying anything other than on social media. This president, however he did it, won the election. He promised to protect lives and properties. As one of his promises, he promised to provide electricity in his first 2 years of his tenure. And guess what? We have not seen none of that. There is no protection of lives and property in Nigeria. People are being unalived every single day in this country. Media don't even report it. In fact, it took the foreign mainstream media to talk about what happened in Kwara yesterday before we could hear of it. The Nigerian media, they don't talk about these things. They have been compromised. People are already campaigning for this guy. People are buying buses. People are donating money to this guy to keep him for his second term in 2027. Imagine for a second that Akpabio's children, Tinubu's children, what's the name of the governor of that state? Imagine that their children were part of those people that were murdered yesterday. Imagine for a second they were part of it. But guess what? They were not part of it. They don't care. They don't give a damn about the common people. They don't care. Their children don't even live in Nigeria. Their children don't even live in Nigeria, so they don't care. The other day, we saw a senator in a private jet. He went to order the Olosho from South Africa. Oshomole. He said it's AI. But the girl has confirmed it's not AI. In a private jet, rubbing her feet mid-air. That's what they do with our taxes. They make promises, they do not fulfill it. Some of you, if your boyfriend make promises to you and they don't fulfill it, you break up with them. Your president is sacrificing your life. Your president do not care. They don't give a damn about you and I. Hours after this thing happened, not a single word has come out from the presidency. Not a single word. Meanwhile, when people are killed in other countries, you see him dropping statements, condolences and all of that. But in Nigeria, people are killed every day, unalived every single day. Media don't talk about. Community are being raised down. People are hunted down like the way you hunt animals. And yet nothing. Today is Kwara State. There are states that are bordering Kwara State. Maybe by the time they are done from Kwara, with Kwara, they will go to other states as well. It's gradually transitioning to state to state to state. These people only care about elections. They only care about receiving oppositions into their fold and celebrating it as a win. No electricity, no good roads, security is non-existent. There is no good schools, no good hospitals. Snake bite killed somebody because there were no venom. There were no what do you call it, anti-venom in any of the Nigerian hospitals that she went to. Snake bites. So what is going on? Why do we have stupid Nigerians everywhere? How can you still be waving a flag representing these people, supporting an administration such as this? The only thing that should be on your mind right there is how to chase these people out of power. I don't care who comes in next. These people have to go because they are incapable of protecting lives and the basic things they should do. Security of lives and property. They cannot provide it. They don't deserve a second term. Nigeria is on the precipice of chaos. We are already in chaos. No, we are not on the precipice. We are already at war. For me, as far as I'm concerned. What kind of country is this?